If 2025 includes goals like increasing your visibility, elevating your conversions, elevating your client attraction and the quality of it, then I want to let you know on this secret. Do not do this, okay? Because it will have you out here looking like an amateur. It's a complete amateur move. You do not want to take the messaging from last year, so old messaging, and try to bring it in to call in new clients, elevated clients, higher level clients, all the things, okay? So in this video, I am going to break down the messaging makeover that you can do. Basically, 5 upgrades that you can make to your messaging to ensure that you're still positioning yourself as an authority, that you're commanding the clients and the cash that you desire and you deserve, and make sure that you are staying relevant and profitable and relatable to your clients. So let's go ahead and dive in. When I think about what my clients and I over the last decade have done to take our brands from $50,000 to $250,000, or clients from $150 to about $450, $500K. These are like the top 5 areas that we have refined inside of their brand messaging, and I want to make sure you have them too, because staying stuck in the old is going to keep you from the new. All right, so let's go ahead and go through how do you actually audit your messaging so that you can refine your brand message, speak with more clarity, speak with more confidence, and elevate your conversions to triple your revenue. Now, I know that it can be really easy to stay stuck in some of your old messaging, right? Some of it is kind of like a habit, right? You're just used to doing it. But just because we have a certain habit, there comes a season where we have to kind of look at it and assess, is this actually still serving me? So one thing that I'm really clear on, when I think about my clients over the last decade, so we're talking like over 2,000 women that I've supported, and they successfully sell packages anywhere from $1,500, $15,000, $100,000. And I want to be very clear. I said successfully sell them, not just doodle them on their paper, have sticky notes, have dreams about them, actually sell them, okay, and have people pay them for them. So when you are looking to continue to elevate how you are positioning and presenting your services and your expertise, you want to make sure that you are doing audits on your messaging. So you can use this as we step from 2024 into 2025. You can use this as we step into a different quarter. You can use this at several different times throughout the year. This is actually one of those videos I would recommend you save and you keep coming back to. But if you are a member of Money in the Message, you don't actually have to save this, because we don't just do the general stuff in this video. We actually go into the implementation. So definitely join us inside of Money in the Message, my inner circle, where I get to personally support you and work with you on elevating your messaging like I have done with my clients over the last decade. All right, let's dive into the first one. It's all about elevating your audience. You see, your audience expands, they evolve, they shift, right? And so your messaging needs to do the same. We can't take old messaging, right? Continue to use it as our audience is advancing. This is how they pass you by. They go into other businesses and brands looking for services because they no longer feel like what you do is going to support them. So we want to make sure that you continue to expand your messaging and correlate it and align it with who your audience is today. So here's one thing that I want you to think about. Where is your audience right now? Where is your audience today compared to this time last year? What has changed in their life? What's changed in their business? What's changed in their health? What's changed in their journey? Insert what you do. They are a different person today than they were a year ago, let's say, okay? They are a different person, than they probably were 3 months ago, okay? So you can use different time frames of this, but my favorite is to just think about it in a year perspective, okay? Where's my audience today? Where were they last year, this time? People grow, people expand, people evolve. And so here's 2 angles you want to take for this. Number 1, where have they made major strides? Like, where have they made progress? Where have they grown? Where have they expanded? Okay. Now, the flip side of that is, where are they still stuck? Right? What is still going on right now that was going on this time last year? They have not made progress on it. They haven't moved forward. They haven't gotten the breakthrough that they need, et cetera, et cetera. Where are they now in regards to their successes and their progress? And then where are they in regards to, areas they feel stuck, okay, and they still need some support and help? Once you look at those 2 things, I want you to really think about, all right, why could my client still be stuck? I want to stop there. We do a full exercise on this inside of the Money in the Message inner circle. I support you in diving deeper, because a lot of times my clients kind of say surface level because you only think about what you can see, and I'm like going 3 different layers deeper, which helps you speak deeper to your most ideal clients. And it makes them feel like, oh my goodness, yes, this brand continues to know what I'm going through, what I'm experiencing over time, so that they, get to that place of being ready for support, investing in transformation now, not later, and they're ready to go ahead and make that investment and come in to work with you. Here's an example. let's say this time last year, your client was focused on the foundational basic pieces of what you do. Let's just say maybe it was building a business, okay? Now, let's say it's been a year. They have shown up, they've been getting visible, they've been putting themselves out there, they've gotten some of their first clients, they've made money, and now they're ready to go to the next level. Or let's say they're on a health journey. Let's say this time last year, maybe they just started their journey and they had a lot of mindset stuff going on, and now it's been a year, they've been consistently taking those actions, going to the gym, drinking their protein shakes, all that type of stuff. And now they're in a space where they need this next level of motivation to keep going. Maybe they have not hit their goal yet and they're ready to kind of give up. Or maybe on the flip side, they have done really, really well and they're like, listen, I've lost 40 pounds this year and I want to maintain it, or maybe I want to build muscle now. You're probably not necessarily going to talk about building muscle in the beginning of your health journey, right? And this is just my experience in working with a personal trainer for about 6 months, then also going through a transition of losing like 70 pounds. And I've also had times in my life where I've lost 40 pounds. And so I definitely wasn't talking about nobody muscle gaining. Now, that is definitely something that I do think we should incorporate, but there was a point where in the beginning of the journey, I really needed to focus on cardio and then add in muscle training, for example. And I'm not all the way where I want to be yet, but this is just an example. So if you think about that, there's certain content, there's certain messaging, there's certain language that I need in the beginning of the journey than what I need a year into the journey, right? And then there's going to be some people who it's been a year and they ain't done nothing and they kept saying they were going to go to the gym and they still cycling on the same 5 pounds. There's no judgment here. The point is, when you think about what it is that you do want to think about where your client is now versus where they were before and what successes they've made, what areas they've been stuck in. Another example is for me and my business, right? So I could sit and I could talk about how do you discover your message and make your first $10,000, which I actually in the description have a masterclass on how I made my first $10,000 in 90 days starting out as a coach, okay, and consultant and speaker. So you could actually go check out that masterclass. But if that was you a year ago, then you can definitely use that. After a year goes by, you're like, here, I've already made my $10,000. I am actually looking to, triple that, which I do have part 2, like a second version, right? An elevated version of that masterclass, also in the description, where I talk about how my clients transition their offers into high ticket services and offers, and then how we use that to literally triple our sales in about 30 days, some in 90 days. So anywhere from 30 to 90 days, tripling your sales. And I'm talking about clients like Carolyn, who went from $1K to $9,000 months. And then my client Dorian, who went from $3K to $30,000. So they have been able to triple their revenue. So we weren't talking about making their first 10K because they had already done that for a year or two in their business. They were focused on doubling, tripling, some quadrupling their income. So those are 2 different phases. People get in trouble because they be trying to skip steps and they try to go to the more advanced one. Why are we talking about how you gonna make $30,000 and you haven't even made your first $3,000? That doesn't even make sense. When people sit and they ask me like, here, okay, how do I get to my first $100,000? But yet I say, oh, okay, cool. So like, where are you at right now? And it's like, I'm at 0. Y'all, we can't multiply 0. So there comes a time where we have to have a conversation around what level and stage are you at, from not a place of judgment, but from a place of the journey, right? What is it that you need to work on now? The perspective I like to give is this: it takes 10 sets of that $10,000 to reach that first $100,000. If you can't figure out how to make the first 10,000, why are we talking about how to make 10 of them? So I love to break things up in stages with clients, and I want you to think about that for yourself as well. So the first thing you really want to think about is, where is my audience now? How have they grown? If you are talking to people who have grown in the areas that you teach and you coach on and you consult and speak on, then you want to make sure that you're speaking to that elevation. Otherwise, you're only going to keep attracting like more newbie beginner clients. And if that is your goal, then great. But if that is not necessarily your goal, or if you just want to be able to convert more and convert better and sell stronger, then you definitely want to elevate these angles and areas of your messaging. So I want you to take a moment and think about, how has your audience evolved? And I would love for you to share that with us inside of the comments. Plus, I'd love to go deeper because this is where I geek out. I love going into your premium client clarity chart That's something that you're actually going to build inside of the program in Money in the Message. And we actually go through supporting you and understanding the mindset of this client. That's one of the struggles I see a lot of women make here is, okay, Kira, yes, I want to double my prices and I want to double my rates, but how do I start speaking to this next level client? Because I'm so used to talking to the client that's here, and I kind of want to grow and I want to expand my audience, right? And I want to show up more powerfully and really command those higher rates. So you being able to understand who your client is at this elevated level is a non-negotiable. And if you don't, it's an amateur move to keep using old messaging when you want new clients. It doesn't make sense. And you want new money, higher money, all that. So definitely take a moment to reflect. Let me know in the comments what comes up for you, and take the next step. Join us inside of Money in the Message so that I can help you step deeper into this next level clarity and elevated messaging for your next level clients that you desire and you deserve. So as we assess your audience and how they've expanded and evolved, we want to do number 2. We want to take that to clarify and simplify your messaging. So I want you to think about this. When's the last time you went to a networking event or you met someone who's not in your niche and you shared with them what it is that you do? Was it clear? Did they understand exactly what you do? Or were they a little confused? Did they have a lot more clarity questions? I want you to think about that. The reason why we have to think about that is because as you are scaling in this next season of your business, you have more eyes and ears on what it is that you do. If you are gambling and risking it all by potentially having messaging that's not really clear, it's not simple, and most importantly, it doesn't actually convert for you, right? Get the people that you most want inside of your offers, who most value it, then all you're going to do is put more eyes and ears on that. And that definitely is rookie, amateur mistake when you are here to be an authority. So the second thing you want to do is make sure that you take time right now to clarify and simplify your message. What is it that you truly do in your business? What is it that you truly help your clients with? You want to gain clarity on that and then position that in the most powerful, marketable, and impactful way. For those podcast episodes you're going to be interviewed on, for the shows you're going to be interviewed on, for the bigger stages you're going to be on, the guest coaching and speaking, and all of these different things that you're doing, right? In the ads that you're adding into your marketing strategy, you are going to have more eyes and ears on your stuff. You want to make sure that your stuff is tight and right so that it's getting the right people in your world and not causing you to have to have these audiences where you're wasting your time because they're just not the right fit for what it is that you do. Speaking of gaining clarity on what it is that you actually do for your clients, I want to go into this thing right here. It is literally one of the biggest messaging mistakes that I see my clients making when they first come in, and it is one of the first things that we tackle when you come into Money in the Message, okay? And it is auditing not just your offers, but auditing your expertise. The reason why I'm going to separate those, let's talk about your expertise first. What it is that you do is going to expand and evolve, just like we talked about with your audience. But here's why. Over the last year, how many new clients have you worked with? How many people have gone through your programs? How many people have gone through your process? How many people have gained more awareness of your signature method, right? I don't care if it's been 2 clients, if it's been 20 clients, if it's been 200 clients. Every single time you work with a new client, that is an opportunity for your expertise to expand. So I've worked with 2 clients, it's expanded. I've worked with 10, it's expanded. I've worked with 15, it's expanded. I've worked with 50, it's expanded. I've worked with 100, it's expanded. And the reason is the more people you get going through your signature method, your framework, your core concept, the more people you get going through it, they're going to ask new questions. They're going to bring up things that maybe no one else ever brought up. I literally, after a decade of teaching this exact work, I had a client last week ask me a question that, to my knowledge, nobody else has ever asked me. And it wasn't a bad thing. It was beautiful. And people ask me all the time, Kira, how have you literally spent a decade creating content consistently on a weekly, at some points in my business, daily basis, but on a weekly, daily, monthly basis? How have you consistently done that for 10 years? How do you not get bored? How do you not keep talking about the same thing? Kira, I've never heard you talk about this before. I've had clients ask me that. And here's my response. Well, one of them. Okay, here's one of the things. You always continue to see how your expertise is expanding. A lot of people only think about that in regards to education and certifications and things like that. And that's beautiful and that's great. Definitely do that too. But don't forget, as you're working with clients, as you gain more speaking events, for example, I have hosted at least 30 to 40 different workshops, events, educational experiences, right? And so there was one particular workshop that I hosted this year, and there were elements of my work that I talked about actually for the first time in my business. And it wasn't that it was like a new concept or anything that I hadn't known before. It was something that I typically didn't share inside of the workshops because it was only something that was reserved for my members inside of my inner circle. And so I talked about a couple of different things. An example is this. I talked about my $2,000 versus your $200,000 problems concept. So the concept is, are you speaking to your client about a problem that only costs them $2? Are you speaking to your client about a problem that only costs them $20,000? Are you speaking to your client about a problem that costs them $200,000? And then I actually have clients who are already at multiple six figures and members of the inner circle right now, and at the time of the recording of this video. And so they have $2 million problems that we have fun expanding, and is really exciting. I love geeking out, but basically like helping you really see, is the problem that you're saying that your offer helps with and supports with and gets results in actually something that they value at a $2 level or at a $200,000 level, so that when they come in to pay for your $20,000 package, they're like, oh my gosh, I would totally pay $200,000 for this. It is so extremely valuable. $20,000, that's a steal. All right. So that is something that I would really explain and expand upon in my paid spaces, in my bigger paid spaces, because I really need time to work with you to build that chart and expand that chart with you. But I just introduced it to this group and I had never done that before. So that's an example of watching not only your expertise expand, but also watching where you are sharing it, how you're sharing it, how you're teaching it. I've taught messaging literally for over 10 years, right? There are elements of how I talk about it today that I didn't use 5 years ago, that I didn't use 10 years ago, right? That I didn't use, insert whatever time frame you want to. So you have to think about the fact that as an expert, you're going to keep expanding and evolving yourself. You're going to keep learning through education, through personal experiences, through clients, all that. And so what you want to do is make sure that you are highlighting that inside of your messaging. Now, the mistake that a lot of people make with this is, one, they create their framework or methodology once and they never touch it again. Okay. So that's number one. There's either secret parts of it that you don't talk about. I've had a lot of clients who've done that. And then you have elements of what it is that you teach that kind of are outdated. They're not really aligned with you anymore. And then there's parts that you want to add in, but you're not adding in. So it be all over the board. Okay, y'all. So I really love sitting down with you. Like I said, this is literally within the first 2 weeks of the program, you are getting access to this right here, because this is a game changer. And I want to bring in another element. I want to bring in element number 4. We need to talk about you talking more about your transformation. So one of the things I want you to do to elevate your brand messaging is how you talk about your transformation. Once you're getting deeper clarity on your signature method and the next level of it, right? What are pieces of it that are new? What are pieces of it that are outdated that could be eliminated? What are pieces of it that are still tried and true, amazing? And how can we elevate the way that we position them? You want to talk more powerfully about your transformation, that your offers, that your expertise, your signature method, that you help your clients experience. That is going to be a game changer, because as you go into wanting to position yourself for higher rates, for, doubling your speaking rate right now, for increasing your group program rates, for increasing your conversions, all of that is going to be based off of how powerfully you can communicate the transformation of what you do. Again, am I paying for this $2 problem, or am I paying for the problem that is costing me $20,000, $200,000, and I see how invaluable your $2,000 program is, or I see how, valuable your, next offer is. So you want to talk deeper about your transformation. What is it that your offer helps me do? You need to go and revisit your testimonials. That is a bonus. Go visit your testimonials, okay? Inside of Money in the Message, there's 2 things that we do. One, we help you actually build out an entire transformation table, because I've had clients who've been in business for 2 years, 12 years, 20 years, who literally are used to like repeating the same benefits and solutions and all the things. And one, they're not even as deep as they can be. So yes, they've made money from it. But when you have more eyes and ears on your stuff, when you're looking to convert quicker, when you're looking to convert more high quality clients, and when you're looking to work less, I don't want to sit and put out quantity wise more content. I want the quantity of the content that I put out, or scale back on the quantity of the content that I put back, to elevate my performance. So how can I get my content, my sales events, when I do show up, my sales calls when I do show up, right? How do I get the quality increased so that it can increase my conversions without me having to work more? And the way that you do that is you work on positioning what it is that you do more powerfully. Utilize those testimonials, right? Elevate how you talk about that transformation. So we build an entire transformation table so that you see a complete breakdown of all of the benefits of working with you, an outline of all of the outcomes. And there is no question of the 100 different transformation impacts that your clients are going to experience in working with you. And then a part of that, the second thing, is looking at your testimonials. I hate the way our industry puts out testimonials. I can't stand it. It is one of my pet peeves. I've had clients who literally have hit six figures in their business using their testimonials as is. But I've also had clients, these same individuals, who we literally have been able to double their conversions because I help them understand how to communicate their testimonials in a way that is literally magnetic to the clients who see themselves in that testimonial. It breaks it down so they see what's really possible for them. So they build more trust, more relatability in your offer, in your expertise, in what you do. And they are so excited to be one of those testimonials, okay? On that paper, on that slide, in that video, etc. Definitely make sure that you dive deeper into your transformation, and you can do that. One of the ways you can do that is by stepping into your testimonials and elevating how you utilize them, how you talk about them. Y'all, don't be just copy and pasting. Oh, my client said I was really great to work with. Here's my testimonial. That's not a testimonial. We turn testimonials into transactions inside of Money in the Message. That is what we help you do. Understand how to position those in the most powerful way, in a way that feels really authentic, that is full of integrity, but is super, super impactful for the right people that actually want to come into your world. All right. This next one, it really is my favorite because there is nothing without this. It is your emotional connection in your messaging. Right now, is your messaging truly connecting with your truest, most authentic audience? All right. How deeply is it connecting? You see, when people buy, they buy because of how something makes them feel. All right. They buy because there is a good feeling attached to it, to the result of it. And there is also a negative emotion and a negative feeling that they get to shift away from and leave behind when they step into that next emotion, the next good emotion, the thing that they want, their desires. And so if you are not bringing in an emotional element into your messaging, you're really doing yourself and your clients a disservice, because that is one of the things that's going to truly help them connect to it. And the other part of connection, right? We talk about it connecting with your clients. We also need to talk about it connecting with you, boo, okay? Does it connect with you? Are you in alignment with it? This is an area that usually at the end of the year, a lot of business owners are focused on, where do I pivot for next year? What's the next messaging? What's the next layer of what it is that I want to be talking about and teaching? A part of that is making sure that it still feels connected to you. Because if you are an impact-driven woman, if you are a woman of, integrity, like my clients and I, this business is so purposeful, right? Yes, there's power and there's profit, okay, with it, but it's so purposeful. And so you being in a space where you feel like you're putting out a message that no longer aligns with you, you are going to have a tough time trying to force yourself all year long to talk about that thing, to talk to that person, to talk about that offer. So you want to really assess the alignment and the connection that you have with your message, with your offers, with your audience. I actually have done a video where I talk about aligning and realigning, I should say, your business model to where your life is right now. So you can definitely check out that video. So you definitely want to assess that. Does my message fire my people up? Does it inspire them? Do they feel seen? Do they feel heard? Do they feel valued, right? Do they feel like I see them? That is so important to myself and to my clients. I love talking about humanizing sales. And if you want to pre-sell your clients, like they come in ready to buy, they just had one question, or they already knew that they were in, or they just buy straight from the page, right? If you want to do those things, then in order for that to happen, you have to make sure you are connecting with your audience. And a part of that is you also making sure it connects with you. I've had a couple of clients who actually were at high six figures and then also seven figures who started working with me. And one of the things we found was that they weren't in alignment to what they were talking about. And so they felt like they were forcing themselves to show up and create content. They kept outsourcing. They kept saying, okay, team, you go do it. You go do it. But there becomes a point where when it's your business and when it's your brand and when it's built off of your expertise, you can only outsource so much. Like, you are the golden star, right? It's your voice, it's your message. And because that can sometimes feel out of alignment for clients, they tend to struggle with, elevating and continuing to feel that fire. So one of the most powerful, like I've said this for years, pieces of feedback that I got from a client that I just hold so dearly to my heart is, Kira, you helped me fall back in love with my business. Your message is so deeply connected to, yes, your money. The money is always in the message, and to the meaningful mission and powerful work that you do. So definitely check out a video that I've done where I talk about brand messaging and really how your brand message vision needs to be solid. It's a great video for you to do every new quarter, every new year, to check back in. And of course, if you're a member of Money in the Message, we can dive into this all day. All right. This is just a bonus. It's a given. But just in case I need to remind you, please make sure that a part of upgrading your messaging, okay, number 6 as a bonus is going to be your visibility, your mindset around being visible. Here's the thing. We can't make all these changes with your brand messaging to elevate your client attraction, your conversions, your sales, your money, all the things, and then you just show up and you hide with it. So if you have something coming up around being more visible, I'm talking bigger visibility, because sometimes there's deeper stories that come up with that, I want you to go check out my entrepreneur mindset playlist. I have a video in there where I talk about comparing yourself and your content. I also have a video that I've done that talks about letting go of shame around self-promotion. And then there's a third video where I do talk about the mindset around selling, especially as women who are impact driven, who are women of integrity, who, don't want to sound salesy, but we also know that we are here to showcase our expertise and to also monetize it more powerfully. So definitely go check out that playlist if you have some stuff coming up. And if you are a member inside of Money in the Message, you know that we have a dedicated call to your mindset to monetize. Every single month, there is also a Mindset to Monetize masterclass that talks about expanding your mindset around selling, being visible, money, your purpose, your expertise, and, just owning all of this to up-level your life. And so every single month, you have access to mindset resources to help you as well, because again, the perfect message that stays in your notebook, the perfect message where you get ideas on this YouTube video right here and you don't do nothing with it, the perfect message on the page, but you can't speak about it when we see you in person, when we talk to you, when you're on your video, like the two go together. So we need the mindset and the messaging to fully monetize your expertise more powerfully, more purposefully, and more profitably. All right, so let's recap the 5 plus the bonus, okay, on upgrading your brand messaging for 2025 and beyond. Number 1, align your message with where your audience is today. Okay, I cannot say it enough. Definitely come inside of Money in the Message so that I can support you in understanding on a deeper level who that audience is, what really are their problems that they actually value investing in and that they won't waste your time with because they actually don't want to get help with them and pay for help, okay? They just want free stuff with it. Number 2, you want to simplify and clarify your messaging, given that information, and we want to infuse that throughout your content, throughout your visibility efforts, your marketing efforts, your sales conversations, all the things. We want to make sure that we are infusing this elevated, simplified, and clarified message into all those elements to help you in your sales and marketing. So number 3, we want to reflect on how your expertise has expanded and make sure that we are infusing that into the messaging as well. And a part of doing that is actually number 4, you going deeper in how you talk about the transformation, what your clients really value investing in, and then leveraging your testimonials in an elevated way to build social proof and help build that trust factor and help build them being able to see what your signature method can do for them. Number 5, you want to add emotional connection to what it is that you do. If it's not connected to you, boo, how is it going to go connect to your most ideal client? Then you're going to be forcing yourself, and that gets you out of your flow. And that's really the thing that's going on with a lot of women who get into a space where they feel uninspired, and they're not having the success that they want. They feel like they're at a plateau because their energy is so out of alignment with what it is that they're talking about, what they're sharing, who their audience is, all the things. So we definitely want to add that emotional connection for your audience. And that also starts with you being connected with what you are sharing and talking about. And then the bonus number 6 was make sure that you build your mindset to monetize so that you can show up consistently with the right mindset that you need. If any of these are areas that you want support with, I literally work with you on this inside my inner circle, the money in the message. Okay. I am so excited about this space continuing to help more women show up more powerfully, more purposefully, and more profitably in how they monetize their expertise. Specifically in this program, I do one thing. I help you understand how to present, package, and position what it is that you are already incredible at more powerfully. When you understand how to position your expertise, what it is that you do, who you do it for, what your offer is, why it's worth what it's worth, and double what it's worth, when you do those things, you are going to be able to call in clients so much easier with so much more confidence, so much more clarity, and more consistently. If you right now are focused on taking the results that you've gotten over the last year and literally tripling them, if not more, I want to work with you inside of Money in the Message. So you'll see in the description below information to join us. Now, if you're kind of like Kiara, I would love to get a feel for what it's like to work with you as I make my decision to join Money in the Message. No problem. If we still have them available, I do have a couple of 30-minute sessions as of today that are available. That link is in the description as well. So you can totally set up a strategy session. And it's a session where we're actually going to start going through and assessing your current offer, your audience, your messaging that you have right now. I'm actually going to also take an audit and look over some of your sales content and your sales messaging. So definitely check out the description to join us inside of Money in the Message so that we can elevate how you monetize your expertise now, not later. And listen, if you have a biz bestie, a mastermind sister, an accountability buddy who you know is also upgrading their messaging as well for the new year and beyond, definitely send this video over to them and make sure you check out some of the videos that I mentioned you should watch next. Until next time, love, shine, and success in life, business, and everything in between. Bye, love.